Hello everyone and welcome to a special edition of Revolutions Per Minute here on DZRJ Radio, the voice of the Philippines, 8:10 a.m. on your radio dial. I'm your host today, Eric LeCain, and on today's show we have a very special guest. He's a best-selling author and an international speaker. He's published 6 books about meditation, yoga, success, something about the third eye, which I hope to get to today, multiple DVDs for wellness and self-mastery. He's founded several international organizations, including BeLife Institute of Higher Consciousness, American Institute for Leadership Advancement, and MDP Foundation. His leadership training includes clients from Sony, Colgate, IBM, oil companies. He's a master of Japanese karate. He's an expert at 12 styles of meditation, 8 types of yoga. He's also the creator of the Be Well Science and Advanced Energy Healing Technique that focuses on 5 levels of health, physical, vitality, emotional, mental, spiritual. Now, I could go on and on, but then I would never get to say his name. So let me just introduce to you now, Master Del P.
Thank you, Eric.
It's so great to have you here on the show here in Makati. Now, you are here in Makati now for a reason.
Well, I came here for this week to launch my book. This is my 9th book, Higher Science of Longevity, and it's been very successful in Manila.
Yeah. Now, I've kind of been looking up a little bit about this book and reading about you in the last in a couple of days. This is the first day that we have met.
Yes.
And I'm very excited about this and a little nervous too. I've been reading about you. You traveled around the world to over 100 countries in search of the secrets of longevity. Now, of course, there's one disease that gets everyone. It's terminal and there's no cure, and that is old age. Yeah. I know I've got it now. It's on me now. So you have this book that you just came out. It's the Higher Science of Longevity. Now, let me ask the first question that's on everybody's mind. How do I live longer?
According to the research on supercentenarians, these are people above 110-year-olds, and there are 7 of those secrets, but it's not a secret. They didn't even know they were living those secrets, but there's one which is so important, functionality. Until now, they're still doing their gardening, they're still carrying their own bags, and also barefooted almost every week. So these are all ingredients that I've seen in these old folks. To be functional until you're old, until your last breath, is probably one of the keys of longevity.
And you're talking about these supercentenarians. These are people that live over 100 or over 110? Over 110 years old.
Centenarians live until 109.
Uh-huh.
Once you cross 110 and over, it's a supercentenarian, as they call it.
And you studied these guys?
Yes, I went to a few spots on Earth that have this high concentration. One is Ogimi in Okinawa, Japan. One is Vilcabamba, Ecuador, in South America. One is in Hunza Valley in Pakistan, and the last is Caucasian Mountain in Russia. These are the highest concentration of people who have lived more than 110-year-old.
And have you found like one specific thing that's similar in all of these people that you can grab hold of and say, you know what, that's the key?
Yeah, I think I have selected 7 of them. First is functionality. They always work and they always do their own chores at home. Second is the sense of faith. They believe that life is good, that they can find goodness in many people, in events. The third is fresh air, but not only fresh air, they have ionic particles in those areas. Negative ions are those that can heal. Another one is fresh water, that's more alkalinic. They drink fresh water from the mountains. And another one is the sense of fun. They always look for fun in their lives. And I've seen 1 or 2 of them who was divorced twice, or not divorced. The husband died already, and then she got married again and died, and she's looking for a new husband at 106-year-old. So I think she really have a sense of fun.
So you got online dating for older people, for really older people. Well, that's interesting. You know, speaking of old people, now here's something that I find fascinating, and I just wanted to ask you about this. You mentioned about a yogi mentor in your book that you say is over 400 years old. Now, I know in the Bible, sometimes in the Bible they live for hundreds and hundreds of years, but now their years are a little shorter than 365, I think is the thing. So, the oldest person ever on record was a French lady, I believe. She was 100. Yeah, she was 122, if I remember.
And 164 days.
Yeah. So who is the 400-year-old man?
Well, this is one of my mentors who live in the highlands of the Himalayas, the border of China and India. I was always trekking the mountains to look for immortals because after I have gathered and collected the data for longevity, I started to get fascinated on immortality. So I started to search around the world, and this old guy is not really that old. He doesn't have wrinkles in his body. He's always naked in the snow, around 19,000 feet above sea level, and he doesn't eat anymore. So whether you believe it or not, I've stayed with him, learned with him, I've been mentored by him, and it's amazing how you sometimes say nutrition is all, that you have to be healthy and to live long. This guy doesn't eat, and I have tried his techniques and did what we call breatharianism, just breathing.
I've heard of this. There's a couple that came out in the news this last week that does this.
Yeah.
And supposedly the woman was pregnant and she didn't eat at all during the pregnancy and had a healthy baby. But anyway, go ahead with what you were just about to say about this.
Yeah, and I've seen that what he does every day is a certain kind of breathing that does focus on the navel. See, the navel is one of the key components of a very long dynamic life, because even in martial arts we do focus on the navel as a focal point for chi, or the energy that keeps you going. And that's one of the common techniques of all my four mentors. They focus on their navel with a certain hand position, with the left over right, with the thumbs together, like in yoga. And they get some kind of a breathing pattern that can be a 10-5, 10-5 ratio. The more advanced is that you count 10, 10, 10, or you inhale, hold 10, exhale, 10 counts, and hold 10 again. That ratio is a very powerful technique if you focus on the navel. That's why the Japanese, when they commit suicide, they have the harikiri, and they put a dagger on their navel, and that's usually what kills a person, to exhaust all what we call the postnatal chi. The energy that keeps you live longer is an energy that deposits on the navel. Being a psychic, we can see this on the navel of everyone who tend to have a longer life versus a shorter life. Even for children, you can see that already.
Okay, this is very fascinating. But the guy who's 400 years old, and he doesn't eat, and he walks around naked in the snow.
Yes.
Yeah. So this guy, he lives somewhere up in the
caves in the Himalayas.
Caves in the Himalayas. So I'd love to meet this guy.
Yeah. You have to travel for 5 days and food.
But I mean, it's great because that's the kind of thing that you like. You would see in a movie. Like there's a guy that lives up in somewhere, and he's you ask him how old he is. It's back in the 1500s, I think I was born. But you also talk in your book about the relationship of the dynamic power to rejuvenate our bodies with the elixir of life. It's a very cool statement. It sounds like something out of a movie. But I'm assuming this is something that's more than just a cool line. I mean, first of all, how is it that we are able to rejuvenate our body or rejuvenate the cells in our body to make us? Because that's what kills us.
Yes.
Is the degradation of cells.
Scientifically, they have been studying the telomeres. That's why they're studying telomeres enzyme now. Is to preserve the tip of the chromosomes that protect the ability to split, the cells to split into two to regenerate the body. An average person would have 50 to 70 times for the cell has to split and regenerate. Now when these telomeres, which is the protection of the chromosomes, fade away, there's no more splitting of the cells, so the person dies. Now in my language, we don't talk about this chemical side. We talk about the energy side of longevity. That's why I call it higher science. There are certain points in your body that stimulates the energy that preserves life. It's called the natal chi or postnatal prana in yoga. And they are housed in certain parts of the body. One of them is in your navel. That's why when we are inside the womb, we usually are fed on the navel, not in the mouth. And when that is disconnected, there's a certain silver cord that connects to the universal life force around us, called the chi. In Tai Chi or in martial arts, we use a lot of that term. And when you can breathe on that every day for 5 to 10 minutes, instead of depleting your reserve, you build it up even to further your lifespan. That's one. Another one which is important is the sexual energy. In a person with an aging, accelerated aging, one of the key things that I look at is how much chi from the sexual energy is left. When people grow old and they don't want even to talk about sexuality and they're inhibiting sexual urge and desires, they either get sick with it through prostate cancer, ovarian cyst or tumor by suppressing the sexual energy, or if a person is taught with a certain kind of kundalini yoga or tantric yoga, as they say, or in Taoism, the Taoist sexologies teach their members how to transmute and sublimate the sexual energy and bring it to the brain, to the cells, to the nerves. Even Bruce Lee was rumored to have used the sexual energy to rejuvenate his bodies when he's hurt. So I was laughing because that's really true, because when I was playing martial arts, that's a very easy way to rekindle your power after getting exhausted. There are many techniques that I put in the book, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to picture like what I would be doing to get my chromosomes not to split. I got the wrong terminology here, but it's I just find it fascinating that, you know, like I said, moving away from the chemical side of this, the energy side of it. Now, right now, my cells are splitting. Right as I'm sitting here, I can feel myself aging. So you say that you have found a way to slow this process of the cells splitting using your chi or your inner energy or your sexual energy? Or
I have a modality called Be Well Science that I have designed to include rejuvenation using the sublimation of sexual energy and the so-called fire in your belly. They're related. Fire in the belly, it gets you the passion and determination, tenacity, and persistence. Now, apart from the navel energy, you have the sexual energy behind the genital area. It's a seat of fire in you. In yoga, they call it kundalini. That's why we have tantra, kundalini, and all these terms in yoga. The Buddhists also use that in their Vajrayana techniques. So there are many kinds of techniques. That's why even Christianity had always emphasized the vow of celibacy for the monks in the olden times, because they have to use that for enlightenment.
That is absolutely fascinating. Now, I tell you what, because I got about 100 questions that are just flying into my mind right now. Let's take a quick commercial break. Then we'll come back, and then let's get into this whole side of things. This is RPM. I'm Eric LeCain. We're here on DZRJ Radio, the voice of the Philippines. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these commercial messages. Hello, this is Eric LeCain. We're back on Revolutions Per Minute here on DZRJ Radio, the voice of the Philippines. Let's get back to where we were before. Now, you've spent your life studying the secrets of Asian masters on how to live forever. Now, I know about the chakras and the energy that supposedly flows through the body, and how this energy supply is sometimes blocked because of illness or whatever. So this is something that I've been fascinated with, is how to stop or how to keep from getting. They say you can slow down illness and stop things by the way you live or the way you think. Is that true?
Yes, your mind can affect your physical health. You can experiment this one. Just visualize that you're going to the kitchen and just squeezing a lemon or a calamansi in the Philippines to your mouth, and in just 30 seconds your salivary gland will respond. Without any lemon in your mouth, your body will follow suit. That response of imagination. So that can prove you that your mind can trick your physical body to be sick or to be healthy. So that's an experiment I usually do in my classes.
That's an interesting analogy because it's true. Every time you look at a lemon, like your mouth starts to make that.
Or just imagine that you're squeezing the calamansi juice into your mouth. It would always work.
Yeah.
Your body will respond to your imagination.
Wow. So, but as far as, because this is a question that I'm sure a lot of people are interested in, how to not get sick. And we always try, you stay away from people that are also sick and drink fruit juice and all these kind of things. But as far as the things that you talk about in your book about we're just talking about the chakras and the things that. Now I've looked into this, and I think there's 6 or 7 main chakras that are in the body. How is this all tied together with keeping us from getting sick?
Yeah, your energy anatomy should be understood to be able to manage your energy. If you can manage your energy, you can manage your life and your health. There are at least 12 energy centers in the body. Yoga has only discovered the 7 ones. I have discovered more than 12. So if you can manage them to be clean and rotating freely without disturbances, because they rotate clockwise to get energy, anti-clockwise to release toxins. The body gets toxic when the energies are not metabolizing. It's not just your body just metabolizing. Your energy is always admitting new energy from the environment, from the air, from the sun, from the ground, and from food. And then your body uses them, so it has to release those toxins. Most people, their energies are very sluggish and slow, especially as we age. And so if we can rotate that faster, like a 17-year-old, then you can metabolize like a 17-year-old. So I have been testing the metabolic rate versus biological age, and I usually reverse my age by doing these with there's a platform scale that you put your feet in. They can measure your metabolic age, your fat ratio, and so forth. So I can prove that to anyone by using a certain kind of breathing. There are breathing techniques that can activate and detoxify the centers called the chakras. Now your auras, your human aura is the container of energy. Your mind has an aura, your emotions has an aura, and your vitality. These all enclose the physical body to either energize the body or it depletes the body when you don't have energy. So we heal this energy field called the human aura and the human chakras or energy centers. And this is where we play our healing science to clean the dirty, stale energy in the aura, and then there's no left toxins. And then you energize the person through these points, which control the different glands.
So I can detoxify myself just by breathing it out?
Yes, there are many techniques that you can clean your liver or if you have high cholesterol. If a person has constipation, if a person has infertility, or a person has a migraine, it's very easy. Like you can achieve this in 10 to 15 minutes.
All right.
You can lower your blood pressure also very quickly in a few minutes.
Yeah. All right. This is something we have to try later. Now, there was something that you just said a minute ago, and I want to focus on this one thing. Now, I've always believed that living longer has a lot to do with what we put in our bodies.
Yes.
And the idea that if you eat healthy, you will live longer, and that makes good sense. But of course, most of us don't do that because there's ice cream.
Yeah.
We can't do it. But honestly, the difference, and I've always thought, if you change your diet, maybe you'll live from 80 to 82. But some people think, if you can completely change your diet, you can live for another 20 years.
I think there's a truth to it, but I have been healing a lot of nutritionists.
Oh, really?
Who follow a certain regimen so strictly. So it's not the ultimate formula. And as I said, I have done a breatharian diet for a few weeks and did not die without eating any food by just breathing. With that guy, I told you that.
Just out of curiosity, how long did you go without eating? When you say without eating,
at
you
least
mean you didn't
3 weeks. 3 weeks at least.
You didn't put any food in your body?
No, 3 weeks. But water, yes.
Water, okay, yes. You have to have water.
But we have to do around an hour of breathing every day. And these areas are clean. They have pollens also, flowers. So if you do this in Manila, for example, probably it won't work even for like 5 days. The toxicity is so high.
Yeah,
even you do breathing, you will be breathing carbon monoxide.
You're eating smog. That's how you're staying alive.
Yeah.
But during that 3 weeks where you didn't eat anything, did you lose a whole lot of weight and you get weak?
Yeah, I did lose weight, more on my fats area, fatty areas, but I do exercise. Like as a martial artist, I do exercise. So I'm a vegetarian for 26 years. I do not use a lot of protein diet, but I can maintain my muscle tones and density of my bones because I substitute my protein supplements with exercise. And there's colors of energy that can substitute protein.
You know, that's another thing. You know, everybody's now, very hip on the protein supplements. You know, all I need is a supplement, and that's going to fix me.
Yeah.
Do you believe in supplements and getting all these powders
Oh
and
yeah,
pills
yeah.
and so forth?
The only thing is there's a saturation point where those can work and not work. Like if all of the athletes are having the right proteins, and they still get sick.
Yeah.
I know because I used to have the Olympic team in the U.S. with the energy medicine techniques, diet routines, and so I've seen that they have a lot of protein diet, they have a lot of spirulina, they have a lot of multivitamins. But their mind sometimes do not work in terms of focusing. So they get disoriented. The emotions are disturbed by the relationship. So if you take care only the physical body, the mind does not always follow suit. See, otherwise all people who are very athletic should not be mentally sick or should not be emotionally disturbed. So there are many levels of our health, including mental health, emotional health, vitality, and physical. So we need to take care of those 5 levels of health, including the spiritual health. Then you can totally compute your total health quotient.
Health quotients. Now, okay, let me just ask you. Now, let's say that I got a job. I get up every morning. I go to the bank. I work. I come home. Eat my dinner, watch a little TV, go to bed. What is it that I can do during all that time? The time that I'm awake, it's going to make me live longer and be a better person.
One of the bottom line of your mind, emotions, vitality, and the body is your breath. See, a person can survive for 3 weeks without eating. I did. You can survive without drinking for 3 days, but you cannot survive by not breathing for 3 minutes. So, the bottom line really, our basic need is air and breathing. Now, the air that comes through is not just oxygen. The oxygen molecule binds with what we call the air prana or air chi, which you can see in the clear blue sky, these points of light that are sporadically moving. That is the air vitality that you inhale. It's not just oxygen. Oxygen stays with you around 4%, you breathe out 16%. But those molecules of air, called the air vitality, stays with your aura. That's one that's sometimes labeled as negative ions. That makes you healthy. So once you're aware of your breathing all the time, most people do not breathe enough. So even you're supposed to have 5.5 liters of air in your lungs, if you breathe halfway or even 1/3 of the way, like people with anxiety, they have to hold their breath and they just breathe through their chest. With a more erratic breathing, they're not improving their capacity by being anxious. That's why you have to do abdominal breathing and then exhale. Like when a baby is sleeping, their abdomens are moving. That is the real breathing, abdominal breathing. Most people in cities who have anxiety, nervousness, stress, they usually breathe through the chests. That's bad. It does not just congest your heart, it does slow down, it decreases your breathing capacity. So I teach a lot of people to improve their breathing style, and whenever they exert effort, they should be inhaling rather than tightening. If people would try squatting 25 times without breathing, you would have a little more cramps or metabolism without oxygen. Do a lot of inhalation as you exhale, inhale. You will not get tired after 100 squats.
Interesting, because I know, I think I breathe a lot through my chest, because I have a lot of anxiety. I'm a very, very tight-nipped person, but one of the things that you talk about, and I was just flipping through some of the things that I've read about you, that you've worked a lot with, we're just talking about somebody who works in the bank, but you've worked with people that are like billionaire guys.
Yes.
Can you buy long life? I mean, if you have enough money? Because it seems like I watch TV and it's like, well, this person died. I'm like, wonder why they died. Because why did they die at 72?
Yeah.
These people that are billionaires. I mean, they
Like
can't.
Steve Jobs, died at 56.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he's a great guy. He knows a lot of doctors and probably he inspired a lot of hospitals.
Yeah, you would think that he would have the absolute best doctors in the world at his bedside and beck
In
and call all the time.
California, he would have a lot of followers who are probably super doctors, super scientists.
Yes.
And he probably has got all the money to have triple surgery or whatever he has.
And he died anyway. I mean, he
At
just
56.
Yeah,
Because of a pancreas cancer.
yeah, he had pancreas
I
cancer.
had really been amazed with that kind of ratio. If you can buy your life today to be 110, like 45 of our supercentenarians today, there will be 1,810 supercentenarians. There are today, as of the last survey, there's 1,810 billionaires today. So it is easier to be a billionaire than to be a supercentenarian.
So how many of the people over 110 have money?
In fact, that's a good question, Eric, because most of them do not have even college education.
Yeah, that's what's
And
fascinating.
that's why I said to my students that if you can use your high IQ to live longer, there will be 121,000 supercentenarians. You know why? Mensa, which measures your IQ at a high level, there are only 121,000 members with a high IQ, 98% higher than most people. It means to say, if intelligence was used as a tool to live longer, there will be 121,000 high IQ supercentenarians. And there are 510,000 people with 10 million and more, the super wealthy. And I have not seen more than 1,000 supercentenarians. So money cannot buy those supercentenarians' age, neither high IQ. And it woke me up with that kind of a relationship.
Now, let me ask you something. I see that you've lived many places around the world, and you have institutes in the United States.
Yeah.
Why did you come back to the Philippines? Because you live here in the Philippines now.
Yeah, I still travel back and forth to the U.S., but I prefer to be in the Philippines since I've constructed and developed a longevity center, and I call it MDP Village, because this is where I can eat raw, I can eat organic, a lot of fruits, and also the air is filled with negative ions. This is one thing that I want to declare today to your listeners, is that if you ever want to recover fast from diseases, you have to get out from a toxic environment and go to a place where there are rivers and mountains or the ocean meets a stream of rivers and brooks. Because these locations have negative ions. It is really what the scientists have declared as the healing ion. So in this place where I put my longevity center, this abundance of breeze and longevity negative ions. So even those people who are sick, when I heal them, it's very fast. It's something like, I would say, miraculous in that level.
When you say heal them, what do you mean? Like, give me an example.
Yeah, we use a combination of special exercises, breathing techniques, life coaching, and energy medicine, which I have discovered as a very potent way. You can project energy using vibrations, using your hands and fingers.
I mean, are these people sick? Do they have terminal diseases? Are they?
A lot of them cannot walk. People have HIV, they have cancer, diabetes. But some also are healthy people who want to go to the next levels of performance. So we heal the healthy, at the same time we heal the terminally ill.
Okay, because you can't, I mean, I would love to just go up there and live and grow older or whatever, but obviously we can't because we have to make money and we have to do these things. But that's a balance that I guess you would have to make in your life. I need money, so I have to go to work, and I have to live in a big city with smog, and I can't breathe. And then, but if I go away to a place like the Himalayas, I won't make any money, but I'm going to live a lot longer.
Yeah, that's why when you have only 15 days of a vacation for yourself, if you don't bring your family, you at least spend 1 week in a place like this. Because you see, without good health, a person will not even continue working effectively or being happy with their family. So it's a real obligation to make a pause of yourself, to extract yourself to a place with very high healing energy, because that's the only time you can recover from another year of work. So instead of spending in another bar or another karaoke center with all smokers and drinking heavily, people should really take a pause of their health and bring it to those places. They don't have to go to the Himalayas. They go to either Hawaii, to Indonesia, Thailand, or our village, where you can really breathe fresh air and rejuvenate. But they have to do the proper breathing techniques. It's not just breathing the air. They need to be educated on certain breathing patterns.
Well, I tell you, most people that I know couldn't go to Hawaii or couldn't go to the Himalayas or anything, but they could go to a place in the Philippines.
Yes.
And there are a lot of beautiful places in the Philippines. But one of the things that I'm very interested in is when I said an example, like, is there somebody that came to you that was, oh my goodness, this person is near death, they can't walk, they have this horrible issues, they have either diabetes or cancer or this, and you found a way to make their life better? Or is there an example of anybody that you can think of that?
Yeah, we have a few names, but confidentiality.
You don't have to give names. Just
we have people who cannot walk with stroke and aneurysms that we are able to help walk in a few sessions. Some have diabetes with almost all the side effects, blindness, kidney failure, and all kinds of failure, and we're able to revive them very fast. In some cases, HIV cases, cancer cases, and many people with heart disease and kidney failure. I've been doing this in India, in South Africa, in Houston, in New York. Here is even faster than where I used to have my centers, because here you have fresh food, organic fruits. We have a lot of activities, like say river safari. We have hot springs, thermal springs where I am located now, and we combine all those facets of rejuvenation to make people really live longer. If they cannot live longer, at least live a higher quality of life. Their energy increases, their mind becomes more lucid. Many people who come with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and senile decay tend to recover their lucidity very quickly.
Fascinating. And when you say we have organic food and we have things, do you grow your own food, or where do you get
Yeah, we have
food?
gardens, and also our whole town are made of 13 villages who plant organic vegetables, because that is the only place where they can plant. So almost everything is organic. Here you buy very expensive organic vegetables. There, everything is organic.
Because most of the time, like here, especially here in Manila, if you want to eat healthy, you got to spend a lot of money to eat healthy. So that's one of the big problems. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't eat healthy.
Like we have, almost everything is organic. Like you can buy avocado for almost 40 pesos per kilo, and they're organic. See, here, to spend yourself with an organic vegetarian diet, you become poor.
Yeah.
Especially in New York or in LA.
Speaking of living in the Philippines, what is the food, everybody keeps saying, eat a yellow mango every day and you're going to live longer. What is it that, if I wanted to start today, what would I want to eat that's here in the Philippines?
I think it depends on the body and health status of the person. I always eat a lot of pineapple and papaya because they have very good enzymes and digestive enzymes. And that's the mistake of most people. They always eat fruits at the end like a dessert. They should eat first these fruits before they eat the viand and the main course, because you need to stimulate your enzymes to digest any food you eat, whether you eat pork or meat or vegetarian. And most people eat fruits at the end. So I would suggest that people tend to do the wrong things. Also, people have to eat a more balanced diet, like minerals and all kinds of nutrition that they need. But what I have discovered from the Okinawan long-lived folks, they eat slower, and they eat a variety of around 80 to 90 types of food every week. Americans only eat 25 to 30 per week, and the Europeans eat around 45 to 50 types of food every week. So there are new scientific investigations now happening in the community of folks on food called the CRON diet, calorie reduction with optimal nutrition. Most people eat a few varieties of food with high calorie but no nutritional value. Now, it's better to eat less calorie but more nutrition in each food that you eat. So more colors in your food, and more smaller portions, but more, I would say, nutritious. The Okinawan diet is like that. They have plates that have holes, and they have small portions for each of those holes, but more variety. Most people have one plate and there's a lot of rice and one viand. So you see high calorie with less nutrition. The American diet is the worst according to the survey. The Americans
big plate of spaghetti. That's what I eat.
High calorie with less nutrition, which is opposite to the super centenarians' food. High nutrition, low calorie, and they consume it because they always work, even they're old. So I think functionality has to determine what kind of food you have, because when a person is sedentary, watching television the whole day on the weekend, like Netflix or Netflix, whatever, there's no consumption of calories. So they eat more on the weekends because they cook, whereas they consume less calorie because they're lying down. It's an opposite. Or they eat at night and sleep. Those are no in terms of nutrition.
Yeah, I heard an interesting thing recently that laying on the couch is more deadly than smoking cigarettes.
I probably believe part of that theory because I've been teaching what I call healthy smoker. That you can smoke as you want, but make sure that you have the exercise, the breathing, and the nutrition. So you would live longer than a non-smoker if things are equal.
The cigarette companies are going to love you. You know, it's kind of funny.
But I'm not advertising smoking. In fact, I hear a lot of smokers.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. My grandmother lived to be 90 years old, and she smoked a carton of cigarettes every day. Mm-hmm. But the interesting thing about her is that she walked to the store every single day. So every day she made this long walk all the way to the store, all the way up until when she finally passed away at 91, something like that. But she smoked all the time. And smoking, I don't think is. Now, I'm not here again, not saying that you should, because obviously smoking is not so good.
Yes.
But sitting still is maybe worse.
Yeah, that is also the effect of some of the yogis and meditators that have been healing in India and Tibet. After they achieve a certain level of enlightenment, they have more sitting time than walking time, and so they started to grow their belly. That's called the Guru belly, that protrusion in the abdomen. And so when they were young, they can be sitting and not moving because the metabolism is still effective. But as you grow older, metabolism slows down. The glands starting to fade away. So what you used to do when you're younger does not always prove good when you're older. So you have to re-engineer yourself to adapt to your aging process.
Yes, I mean, I'm a perfect example of that. I've been skinny my whole life, and the day I turned 50, this almost like I just turned pregnant. It just
popped right out. A food baby.
it just popped right out, right on the day I turned 50. All of a sudden, I got a stomach, which I never seen before, and I haven't figured out how to get rid of it yet. But so I know what you mean.
The thing that I also want to emphasize is it's not just the fats in your body; it's the visceral fats inside your organs that kills. See, most people are reducing through diets and through exercise. But they don't know that they might have a good muscle index or a fat index in terms of their bodies. They can pinch their arms and their visceral region. But what really is not easy to deal with is the visceral fat internally. This is what most people do not see with their naked eye. They have to be measured or they have to be assessed. And so diet can help with that, like protein diet. But certain breathing that will exercise the internal organs should be taught to people to kind of squeeze the internal organs to massage them.
Interesting. So you're exercising your internal organs,
yes.
like exercising your liver and your pancreas and stuff.
And the internal organs like the guts.
Wow.
The guts has to be exercised almost daily. Most people's guts are so stocked that even they eat the right vitamins and drink a lot of water, they're not absorbing anymore because either they lack the good bacteria called the probiotics effect, or their guts are already lined with so much toxicity that what comes in are not absorbed anymore.
Interesting. Very fascinating stuff. Now, let me ask you this, because we're getting near the end of the hour. What's next? What's the next step for you, the next thing in life that's coming up? You got this book out now
yes.
about how to live longer. What's the next step for you?
I am writing a book on the 7 types of laziness and their antidotes. See, laziness is not just a psychological, it's an epidemic now. A lot of people are lazy and lazier, children are becoming lazier, elite laziness is one when you have all the money in the world that you cannot spend for a lifetime. You're starting to have mental laziness, emotional laziness, and physical laziness. Now that is deadly because the pharmaceuticals are not designing medications for that. You cannot put a chemical medicine to a lazy person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not depression anymore. And I've been observing around the world that there are many types of laziness, and I want to, I would say, solve that with an antidote, or at least antidotes, including the poor laziness is different from the elite laziness.
Because a lot of us have this disease. I know this disease. I have this disease.
And people talk about sedentary life, complacency, laziness. They have different categories. And if people do not nail the category they're in and profit themselves, it's hard to put a profile and an antidote. And we have also what we call the dark night of the soul. I'm writing a book about the dark night of the soul, how to go through the darkness.
Okay.
That people, as soon as we grow, we have this certain darkness periodically.
Well, I'll tell you what, we actually have, we can do one more quick segment here. Let's take a quick commercial break here and come back and talk about the darkness and the things that are coming up for you that in the next while. So this is RPM. Stick around with us. We'll be right back after this commercial. And you were saying, you know, over the commercial break, we were talking a little bit about a book that you had on sexual energy.
Yeah, I have already indicated a technique on living longer using sexual energy. But this book that I'm writing now is about sexual alchemy and divine intimacy. It's a very deep aspect of enlightened sex and how to achieve, even with your partner, a more enlightened experience, ecstasy, or a divine union, as you say, as a part of your path of enlightenment. Not just for the sake of having sex. It's a more enlightened way of achieving enlightenment through a partnership. Now, if you don't have a partner, you can still use the techniques that I have researched through monks. See, they are celibates, but they get enlightened through using the sexual energy.
Now, a lot of us out there, I know a lot of people in the cars right now are giggling and going on, but this is actually very serious. I mean, this is something that can really help you with your health and your livelihood.
In fact, the bottom line is the sexual energy mixed with divine life is called the elixir of youth and elixir of life.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it has always been kept secret by the yogis, the lamas, the monks, because it has been always their secrets to live longer and to be more enlightened. I'm so blessed that I have had those teachers that indicated to me this path and researched myself. And I can teach it today to a layman and to the executives, to anyone who wants to learn this thing.
Yeah, because I mean, this is not only about long life. This is about how you live your life. And you know, a lot of us are very stressed out all the time, and we have lots of anxiety, and we have lots of pressures and things coming at us from left and right, and trying to find a place to breathe.
Yes.
There is no time to breathe. We got so many things going on, and so many pressures in life. And you know, money is the number one pressure, and then you have your family, and that's another pressure, and all these things. And it's finding stuff to alleviate that pressure and that lifestyle.
Yeah, a lot of these techniques will really help people who are busy, especially because you can be so busy, you can be so hectic, you can be so intense in your passion of life, work, family. As long as you maintain the energy that's required for that level. The energy that you require for a certain activity has to match the output. So if your output increases because you have had more companies than before and you have more relationships and so forth, your energy input will be a deficit. So you need to raise the bar of your energy and the quality you need to substantiate the missing parts. That's one. Second is a new ways of living in such a way that breathing is as a habit, as a way of life. Even 5 minutes of breathing, focusing on your navel, will give you a double energy. Now, breathing by inducing a rapid breathing like this. Inhale rapidly through your nose, exhale to your mouth, chin in, chin up, chin in. If you do that 10 to 15 times before you sleep, you go to the fourth stage of sleep, which is the one where you can rest well. So you can sleep for only 2 hours. Deep sleep is more than 10 hours of shallow sleeping. And this is what I taught to a lot of frequent flyers who go around the world like me. I have discovered this because I have to fight jet lag and fight flight fatigue. So I was teaching this to pilots, to flight attendants, and to people who really travel a lot to fight jet lag and flight fatigue. Today, a lot of insomniacs and people with sleep-wake insomnia come to me to learn these things.
Right, because I have a horrible time sleeping, and I know so many people that do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we either we sleep too much, but it's not good sleep.
Yes, shallow.
You know, I have that same problem, and so many people I talk to also have the same issue, that they're thinking,
Yeah.
and then you're laying there in bed and you're thinking you have to go to sleep, but you're still thinking, and then you kind of wake up and then you fall asleep again.
Yeah, I usually teach people how to park their minds and emotions. See, the mind can be a very powerful tool for you to grow, but it is also a menace when you're starting to overuse the mind even while resting. You consume energy, you consume the mind's energy that's used for creative thinking by just thinking and worrying. So I teach a lot of top people today, executives, even billionaires, on how to park your mind when you need to rest, how to park your emotions to stabilize, and how to release a lot of this mental and emotional toxins before you sleep so you don't bring it to your next day. When you can do this with deep breathing, plus stimulate the melatonin of the pineal gland, that's one of the secrets. It's the gland inside your head, that's called the pineal, is the pacemaker of your life. The circadian rhythm of sleep are controlled by that, and the melatonin are secreted from the gland. I teach people how to stimulate that and produce more of the happy hormones and melatonin through yogic techniques. That is one key to sleeping deeper.
That's fascinating. I gotta learn. Those people, I gotta really learn to do that, because I know, you know, I used to, you know, before I came, I've been to the Philippines for many years now. Before that, I lived in New York, and we spent all our time making money.
Yeah.
Working really hard, making money, but you spend all this time making money and you're killing yourself doing it. So, you know, what good is it if you're really going to live to be...
The worst thing is if you have a lot of money and all your experiences would bring a lot of intelligence, and then you have Alzheimer's at the end and you forget that you don't have a bank account.
You don't even have a
or
bank
you forgot the number.
Which is sort of what, you know, I've been through that, and I know many people now that are going through that, and I can look at them and see it happening.
Yes.
That they're 50, they're 55 years old, and they look like a 65-year-old or a 70-year-old. You know, they can't, you know, I'm going through this right now, and I can't remember anything. But, you know, all the things that you're talking about anxiety and breathing in your chest and not sleeping and having all these issues. And I think that might be the reason why a lot of us just can't get to this super centurion thing that we'd never be able to.
I think people don't have to live that long, as long as whatever left years of their life, they need to have a high quality of life. So I usually promote two of my products, which is really the one that I'm using now in many of the big corporations. The Just Be Alive is the one that has the yoga, martial arts technique, and the 3 breathing techniques, which can really make your sleep very deep, and also how to get your energy in 5 minutes, and how to release all the tension and stress very quickly in a few minutes. Now combine that with the Just Be Free meditation, which is the self-healing meditation that can release a lot of traumatic experiences, anxieties, worries, tension, fatigue, and even confusion. Once you can clean up your mind, emotions, your aura, and your body is detoxified, you can really live longer and a higher quality of life.
Now, now that I'm just interested in this, I'm thinking like, this is what I need to do. How do I do this? Like, where can I learn to do this? If I can't go to your place up in the mountains, how can I figure out?
The good thing is we have now everything in online, and all my books are now in Amazon and iBooks.
Okay.
All my products are in iTunes, so people can look for me and they will see all my products recorded already, and a lot of our online can deliver our seminars at the comfort of your homes. Mm-hmm. You can be in your pajama and listening to me and learning all the techniques. That's the beauty of the internet today. Or you can also follow us at Master Del Pe at Facebook. Mm-hmm. Or they can visit me at my resort website, mdpvillage.com. Okay. mdpvillage.com. Yeah. Or find me at masterdelpe.com. masterdelpe.com.
Okay. And there's a like for instance, you know, you kind of seen me. And I equate myself to a lot of people here where we work every day and we have all these pressures and things and so forth. What's a good starting place? Is there a DVD that you have which is a good one to start with?
Those people who can download from iTunes and get it from there, you can really download my Just Be Alive DVD, which is just 15 minutes workout. Very simple. After you take a shower, you can do that 15 minutes and then you go on. Your energy will increase tremendously in just 15 minutes. And then your whole day will be very easy. Performance happens only when your energy is balanced, when your energy is high, and when you are aligned. That DVD will align you, your hormones, your glands, your organs are cleansed, and you detoxify every level of your consciousness. And for people who want to really release your past and heal your past, the Just Be Free meditation is very easy. It's only 19 minutes and you can really clear up and sanitize a lot of your past issues.
When you say the past issues, it means that you have things in your life that happened before and you keep thinking about them and you can't get rid of them.
People are sick not because of yesterday's food. People had traumas when they were children. They had probably been insulted and they had probably a lot of emotional pain, brokenheartedness in relationships, or mentally blocked. This CD guarantees that after you use it for a few weeks, a lot of those are emptied from you, vacated your mind and your consciousness. I have done it for so long that I can guarantee its results.
Interesting. So I know a lot of people have this in their life, that they blame their current situation on things that have happened over the last year, 2 years, or 10 years. And especially living here in the Philippines, I have this story all the time. That a woman was in a relationship with a guy and they had a child, and then the guy ran away, and now she's left with this and she can't make ends meet and so forth. And it seems to be almost the excuses that we have in life are holding us back.
Yeah, these strategies I've designed for all walks of life, whether you're a super rich, a billionaire, or a person who doesn't have enough food. It really vacates your consciousness and memories to be able to live fresh and robust. So the past has to be handled and healed and managed. But people has to move forward by thinking, what can I do now? So I always focus on coaching people that focus on what you can do now rather than what you cannot do. If they start that way, that what can I do now, that will start to move them forward, because most people are focused on their past.
Yeah, you can't change the past.
This
it's already
meditation
set.
will make you run away from the negativity of the past and memories and dissolve them and move you to think of what can I do now, and then visualizing the next steps you want to achieve and the goals you want to attain. It's a very positive, I would say, reinforcement of how people can focus on what they can do rather than what they cannot do.
Okay, and what is that called again?
Just Be Free CD, Just Be Free, like free, F-R-E-E, Just Be Free, and the other one is Just Be Alive.
Okay.
Those two in pairs for a whole week is only 15 minutes each and 19 minutes. It's so short that by the time before your breakfast, you can already finish it. And people should not bring their stress home, because stress is contagious, and stressful people are hazards to others. So I usually put wellness centers in corporations that they can use this center to release a lot of stress and anxiety to people before they go home.
Yeah, I mean that's something that we hear about a lot, that you have a toxic friend and they bring their toxicity into you.
Yes. Yeah. I think Eric, you're confronted with a lot of your audience that had so many problems. I think one thing they can do really is to either read my book or get the CD DVD. And in Manila, I have launched my book with a Cool Bean Cafe at I think the Diliman Village Cool Bean Cafe, and also at Thomas Morato, I have the Popular Bookstore there. Well, I think we're negotiating now with the National Bookstore to get my books.
That would be great, the National Bookstore.
But for those who are in a hurry, you can go for iBooks and Amazon, and also you can visit us. Our website is masterdepe.com with my name, and the mdpvillage.com for those who wants to come for healing and for a retreat.
Oh, that's absolutely fabulous. Now you have been so nice that you were going to give us a book and a DVD, and what we're going to do is we're going to give those away on our RPM Facebook page in the next couple of weeks. We'll explain that. Go to Revolutions Per Minute on DZRJ on Facebook and check out our webpage.
Yeah.
And we're going to give away.
I will sign a
some
book dedicated to whoever will win, and DVD for the exercise and the healing meditation.
Okay, all right, that's great. Well, now we're about to wrap things up on Revolutions Per Minute. We're so happy that we were able to. This is kind of a special edition we're doing today to get a chance to speak to you. Just before we quit, can you quickly tell us all the ways that we can get a hold of you?
The phone number, if you're in a hurry to get an emergency healing, for example, is 0928 843 2802. 0928 843 2802. Or just visit our website, masterdelpe.com, masterdelpe.com. Or for those who want to come for a retreat or healing, mdpvillage.com, mdpvillage.com. Or our Facebook, you can visit, follow us at Master Delpe.
And where is the healing place?
The healing place can be online also. Those who are abroad, you can access us through Skype, or you can come to our resort in Ilocos Sur, Cervantes, Ilocos Sur.
Ilocos Sur, okay.
And this is in the mountain region. It's called the Hidden Shangri-La because it is in between Mountain Province, Benguet, and Ilocos Sur. It's circumvented by a river, and it's like the Himalayas.
And so we can go up there to Ilocos Sur and learn about longevity, get rid of our toxicity in our
healing
life.
Sciences. You can also come and learn how to activate your third eye if you want a more advanced.
That's one thing I was thinking. And next time we'll have to talk about the third eye.
Or you can come and learn stick fighting. You can come and combat strategies, martial arts, yoga, meditation, or just come and enjoy our thermal baths and massage and many aspects of longevity.
It sounds absolutely fabulous. I got to see if I can figure out a time where I can get up there because I could really use this. Well, listen, thank you so much for being here on Revolutions Per Minute on DZRJ Radio. It's been a very interesting day. I hope that a lot of our listeners out there have gotten a lot out of today's show, especially with some of the specific things about health and well-being and living a better life. Not necessarily always living a longer life, but living a better life.
Yes.
And that's something that we really focus on here on RPM.
Yeah, I think, Eric, the best things really is to focus what is left. What is left in you is the future.
Yes.
So manage the future. You manage your energy and you manage your life. And I wish you all the best. And Eric, thank you for inviting us to your show, and more power to your following.
Well, thank you very much. This has been Revolutions Per Minute here on DZRJ Radio, the voice of the Philippines, 8:10 a.m. Join us again next week where we'll have more shows. See you next week. Master Delpe.
Thank you, Eric.
It's so great to have you here on the show here in Makati. Now, you are here in Makati now for a reason.
Well, I came here for this week to launch my book. This is my 9th book, Higher Science of Longevity, and it's been very successful in Manila.
Yeah. Now, I've kind of been looking up a little bit about this book and reading about you in the last in a couple of days. This is the first day that we have met.
Yes.
And I'm very, very excited about this and a little nervous too. I've been reading about you. You traveled around the world to over 100 countries in search of the secrets of longevity. Now, of course, there's one disease that gets everyone. It's terminal and there's no cure, and that is old age. Yeah. I know I've got it now, and it's on me now. So you have this book that you just came out. It's the Higher Science of Longevity. Now, let me ask the first question that's on everybody's mind. How do I live longer?
According to the research on supercentenarians, these are people above 110-year-olds, and there are
In your book that you say is over 400 years old. Now, I know in the Bible, sometimes in the Bible they live for hundreds and hundreds of years,
Yes.
but now their years are a little shorter than 365, I think is the thing. So, the oldest person ever on record was a French lady, I believe. She was 100. Yeah, she was 122, if I remember.
And 164 days.
Yeah. So who is the 400-year-old man?
Well, this is one of my mentors who live in the highlands of the Himalayas, the border of China and India. I was always trekking the mountains to look for immortals because after I have gathered and collected the data for longevity, I started to get fascinated on immortality. So I started to search around the world, and this old guy is not really that old. He doesn't have wrinkles in his body. He's always naked in the snow, around 19,000 feet above sea level, and he doesn't eat anymore. So whether you believe it or not, I've stayed with him, learned with him, I've been mentored by him, and it's amazing how you sometimes say nutrition is all, that you have to be healthy and to live long.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Revolutions Per Minute here on DZRJ Radio, the voice of the Philippines, 8:10 a.m. on your radio dial. I'm your host today, Eric LeCain, and on today's show we have a very special guest. He's a best-selling author and an international speaker. He's published 6 books about meditation, yoga, success, something about the third eye, which I hope to get to today, multiple DVDs for wellness and self-mastery. He's founded several international organizations, including Life Institute of Higher Consciousness, American Institute for Leadership Advancement, and MDP Foundation. His leadership training includes clients from Sony, Colgate, IBM, oil companies. He's a master of Japanese karate. He's an expert at 12 styles of meditation, 8 types of yoga. He's also the creator of the Be Well Science and Advanced Energy Healing Technique that focuses on 5 levels of health, physical, vitality, emotional, mental, spiritual. Now, I could go on and on, but then I would never get to say his name. So let me just introduce you that you can grab hold of and say, you know what, that's the key.
Yeah, I think I have selected 7 of them. First is functionality. They always work and they always do their own chores at home. Second is the sense of faith. They believe that life is good, that they can find goodness in many people, in events. The third is fresh air, but not only fresh air, they have ionic particles in those areas. Negative ions are those that can heal. Another one is fresh water, that's more alkalinic. They drink fresh water from the mountains. And another one is the sense of fun. They always look for fun on their lives. And I've seen 1 or 2 of them who was divorced twice, or not divorced. The husband died already, and then she got married again and died. And she's looking for a new husband at 106-year-old. So I think she really have a sense of fun.
So you got online dating for older people, for really older people. Well, that's interesting. Speaking of old people, now here's something that I find fascinating, and I just wanted to ask you about this. You mentioned about a yogi mentor.
Yeah, 7 of those secrets, but it's not a secret. They didn't even know they were living those secrets. But there's one which is so important: functionality. Until now, they're still doing their gardening. They're still carrying their own bags and also barefooted almost every week. So these are all ingredients that I have seen in these old folks. To be functional until you're old, until your last breath, is probably one of the keys of longevity.
And you're talking about these supercentenarians. These are people that live over 100 or 110?
110.
Over 110 years old.
Centenarians live until 109.
Uh-huh.
Once you cross 110 and over, it's supercentenarians, as they call it.
And you studied these guys.
Yes, I went to a few spots on Earth that have this high concentration. One is Ogimi in Okinawa, Japan. One is Vilcabamba, Ecuador, and South America. One is in Hunza Valley in Pakistan, and the last is Caucasian Mountain in Russia. These are the highest concentration of people who have lived more than 110-year-old.
And have you found like one specific thing that's similar in all of these people?